Hi guys, today I'm going to bring you a video that has to do with how you can still pitch while you're maybe dealing with different sorts of injuries. Injuries can sometimes be inevitable. We like to think that if you're doing our mechanics correctly, there's really a very minimal chance of injuries, but freak things happen. So for example, especially in this off time, this video is happening during the quarantine, several of my pitchers have taken to running. And two of them came to me during lessons with boots on because they rolled their ankles while they were running. So crazy things happen, but if you're a pitcher who's really passionate about softball like myself, downtime can be like the worst. You're just itching to get back out there, you want to still be practicing, but you've got this injury and you're like, oh, I can't go through a full pitch, and you get really frustrated and you start to go kind of stir crazy. I got you. There are still ways that you can stay sharp even when you're dealing with an injury. Now, I'm not a doctor, and you should 100%, if you have an injury, go see your doctor, make sure all of these things that I'm showing you today are okay with him or her, and then, of course, you can go into doing them as long as you get the approval. So, let's say you're like one of my students. Both of my students ended up hurting so they were both righties, and they ended up hurting their stride foot while running. So it was very difficult. They couldn't do a full pitch, or they couldn't do any drill where they pushed off and landed on their stride foot. They couldn't put any weight on that front foot. So I said, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to focus on a lot of drills down on one knee. So let's say you've injured your stride foot. You're in a boot. You can't put weight on it. We're going to go ahead and get down on one knee. There's very little weight on this front foot. I'm just relaxed on my heel. Whenever you have a leg injury, whether it's the front foot or the back foot, this is a great time to practice isolated whip, which is one of the most important things in a windmill pitch. Hello elbow, pushing, stiffness, lifting, all hurts your speed and command. So developing that really nice loose whip is crucial. So this can be a really, really great time to focus on that, even if you're just throwing into a net. So you can do a lot of drills down on one knee. You can do isolated forearm fire. You can do end game type drills. You can do simple arm circles. So let's take a look. I'm set up. Let's pretend I've got a boot on and my foot's up on a pillow. I'm nice and relaxed. I'm just going to go ahead and try and whip this ball as fast and as loosely as I can into my net while down on one knee. I'm focusing on good posture, vertical stacking, staying tracked, and really, really good forearm fire position for maximum whip. Go ahead and bring this bucket closer to me so I don't have to keep getting up. So let's see again. Nice, loose, relaxed whip. And you can do any one of our forearm fire drills from this position. You can do just the regular forearm fire drill like I just did. You can do 3 swing forearm fire drill. You can do elbow lead forearm fire drill. Anything to practice that loose, relaxed whip right into the net. Sometimes it's even better to have your pitchers throw into a net because they're not worried about balls and strikes. They're just worried about being loose. And the more and more you do it, the more that quickness and looseness is going to get engraved into the muscle memory. You can do the end game drills down from this position. 1, 2. 1, 2. These drills go for whether you've hurt your front foot or your back foot. If you've hurt your push-off foot, your back foot, you can go ahead and put this foot on a pillow, have it nice and relaxed, maybe get up on one knee so that this foot is taking a little bit more of the pressure, and do all those same things. Focus on being nice and tall and relaxed, loose and whippy. So now we can even just do some simple arm circle drills, focusing on good arm path and really loose, relaxed whip and snap. So those little exercises that I just showed you don't just even apply to foot injuries. They can apply to knee injuries, back injuries. It just sets you up in a relaxed position where you don't really have a lot of pressure on any of the joints, and you can focus solely on that isolated whip, which again is so important when it comes to pitching. Now we know that the lower half isn't the only thing that gets injured. Maybe someone was running one day and they fell and they hurt their pitching arm because they fell on their pitching arm. Or, something freak happened that they're not able to use their pitching arm. Maybe they fell on their wrist, or they did something to their shoulder, and I'm gonna pretend I'm in a sling. I can't move that arm at all. I hope that none of this ever happens to you guys, by the way, but let's just say it does. And we still want to get some good pitching drills in. I got you on that one too. We don't even have to throw a ball to stay sharp in some of our pitching mechanics. One of the other most important components of pitching is leg drive, drive through position, and body position. So again, I'm in a sling here. I can't use this arm. All I'm gonna do is practice my push and glide off the rubber, focusing on a good position of my drive through toe and knee. I can pretend I'm gonna load, I'm gonna push off. I haven't moved my arm at all, but look at my nice glide position. I've glided off the rubber. It really felt effortless. I'm nice and tall and stacked and tracked. My foot's on the power line with my toe and knee pointed forward. This is a really great thing to do, especially for pitchers who tend to open too early and collapse on the back foot, or maybe they like to jump and pivot. If you've hurt your arm, this is a great thing to do, even if you haven't hurt yourself. So practice that load, glide, really good drive through position, and then you can drive that foot through to the other foot. You can freeze in power K, you can freeze in the reach position, you can do a full motion and kind of do the glide and the drive through, really just focusing on staying on that toe the whole time. Do constant reps of this, and I'm willing to bet that when you come back from your injury, you're going to be a lot better at that push and glide off the rubber, and you're going to have a lot better of a drive through. So I hope that none of you are going through injuries right now, but if you ever are, I hope that you'll remember these drills and still take the time to perfect your craft even in that off time, because I have had injuries myself, not softball related, but they've affected my ability to pitch. And I know how stir crazy that I went. All I wanted to do was go out and practice, so I'm here for you guys. These are some great things that you can do to stay sharp, even if you're working with an injury. I hope you guys have found this helpful, and I'll talk to you soon.